We shall see. I have not obviously read deeply into it yet. So, yeah. Undertale 10th anniversary. Yay. It's been 10 years since Undertale released, therefore, Undertale 10th anniversary event, that's right. Let's have a stream where we play through Undertale just like we played through Deltarune Chapter 1. Looks at the calendar and realizes the anniversary is on a weekday. Why don't we do this on a weekend after the anniversary instead? The event will be run across 2 days, 4 p.m. Pacific time on September 20th and 21st, and you can watch it here, which is Twitch. That's right, when we tried playing through everything, it took over 8 hours, so we had to split it up. We'll have to play half the game one day and half the game the next. That sure is a long time to talk. Is anyone going to enjoy watching this? Oh, I'm sure people will. That is interesting, because Undertale is not that long of a game, so maybe they're doing, like, all of it? Like, both routes? Chapter 3 and 4 came out, they did. That's right, last time Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 came out. I really want to look back on these chapters and discuss my thoughts. But I don't have time to do that right now. The anniversary is coming up. There's no time to discuss this now. Chapter 5. Okay. Let's talk about Chapter 5. Some of you might be wondering what kind of chapter it is. Well, right now there's no reason to tell you that. Both of us like surprises, right? If I think of everything in the chapter, there is very little I would like to share. That being said, as an act of goodwill, I would like to spoil one optional Castletown scene. The scene assumes you've seen the special room in Chapter 4. Pippus. Next time I can show more from Castletown. Okay. Oh. I thought this... Is this on YouTube? No. Oh god, it's huge. Hopefully the capture could see all that. No, it can't. Oh. Okay, you can see all of it now that I'm seeing. There you go. Ow. Ow. Tricky acid. Ow. Hey, boss, someone just knocked. Oh, no, that's the... You think that's Tenna? No way it is Tenna, rubber brain. If it was him, that knock would be more glooby. Ow. 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 By the way, what the heck is this drink you got me?
Battery acid?
Battery? What? What the heck it makes you think I drink that?
Well, it's my theory, boss. Yours is green, so you'd look good with a green drink.
Theory? That's not a theory, that's just... You think that just because something looks cool, that makes it correct?
Yeah.
Whatever. Ow. 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 Alright, cool. Thanks. More commentary from Toby Fox about theories. Anyway. Kitty. Detailed progress info. Okay. This is the current status of our progress as of September 8th, 2025. Areas. The early parts of Chapter 5 are complete, but need polish in optional areas. Oh, interesting. Maybe the last 40% or so of the game is in rough first pass state, and the last 10% is in prototyping state. Probably around 85% of cutscenes have been created up to a first draft state. However, of those, at least 20% or so will require more polish. Okay. We've got enemy tree. Pine Tree Star. That's what it's called. Enemies. Regular enemies are almostly done. One programmer is already working on regular enemy bullet patterns for Chapter 6. Wow, okay. The direction of the boss battles have been decided, and many boss attacks have already been completed. Once the... Oh, boss battles. Multiple. I mean, there's been at least 2 bosses in every chapter so far, I think. And if you count the Weathers in Chapter 3 as a mini-boss. But, you know, they do have Rude Buster as their battle theme, even though it's a remix, so I don't know if you can. I guess the Knight would count too, so there's technically 2 battles there, even though it's not really a battle, it's more of a stomp. At least for the main route. Once the attacks are finished, the next goal will be to arrange the attacks and make adjustments to them if necessary to fit the atmosphere of battle. Trash can. Dark World Castle Trash Smaller. Okay. So that doesn't really tell us much either. Oh, I guess I'll close this too. Overall, with Chapter 3 and 4, there were some creative hurdles which made developing parts of the game difficult. How to do the boards in Chapter 3, how to design the events in Noelle's house, yeah. There's a lot of, like, unused stuff for Noelle's house. There's, like, a whole train mini-game that isn't in the game at all. And there's a whole unused board as well. Once we got past those hurdles and expanded the team, everything went more smoothly. Chapter 5 was not without hurdles, but we already passed all the obvious ones, so there's a little to get in our way now. We just need to keep making the game. That's good. QC. Sister's laugh. Oh. Oh yeah, this is the inn rabbit. Is that true? No, right? Because that's QC in the original Undertale. Maybe? Maybe, actually? Hold on. Let me just figure this out. Okay, so I was right. This is the hotel. This is QC who runs the shop. The reason I was getting confused is because they're connected. So that explains that. Anyway, them being sisters, I think that pretty much makes perfect sense. It is curious, though, because there's a list of names for the Godmaker sequence. If you put them in, they get a reaction from Gaster, right? And QC is one of those names. So it's interesting she's showing up here. I mean, I assume this sprite in particular will just show up during the festival at some point, but you know, interesting. The rough timeline will look like this. Making game, we are here. Localization, making game. Porting game. Finish, testing and bug fixes. Release, yes. Currently, we have one main deadline. I want to begin the translation by the end of 2025. After that point, gameplay changes will be acceptable, but large-scale text and story changes will be heavily frowned upon. Factoring the localization and testing, I don't think the game will be released in the first half of 2026. That's not a surprise, right? Well, from last time's updates, you guys have access to exactly how long each step of the development took. Anyway, we don't have any external factors surrounding the release date this time. We'll release it when it's done, and we will continue to update you guys on the progress of its completion. Thanks. I mean, that's still pretty good. I was not expecting early 2026 for sure. I was expecting, you know, around this time, if not October in 2026. But, it might come before that. Who knows? I mean, it would kind of fit if the festival happened sometime in the summer. Like, we got to play through the festival in the summer. Seems how, you know, that's when county fairs are happening in real life. But they do also bleed into fall, so I don't know. Either would work, I think, to kind of, you know, fit the mood of everything going on. Homestuck. Let me tell you about Homestuck. You okay? If you haven't heard of Homestuck, it was a webcomic that basically launched my career. Back in 2010, I was a high school student with no aspirations for music composing at all. That was until I discovered this webcomic, which I really liked. You see, the comic's animated sequences had music created by a team of very talented musicians. The Homestuck music team. God, I can't talk today for some reason. It's probably because I'm reading something about Homestuck. I wanted nothing more than to be part of my beloved comic, just like them. So one day when a call was put in for additional musicians, I instantly took this opportunity to become a composer. I made some bad music, sent it over, and the author of the comic added me to the group. Well, I didn't want to waste the opportunity of being added, so I tried really hard to make as much music as I could. Combining as many motifs as I could from other musicians, it was that experience which forged me into the composer I am today. Additionally, thanks to my association with the comic, I gained a following on social media, which really helped me when I made a Kickstarter for my game Undertale, you know, the thing that enabled me to make the game. I even initially reached out to Temmie specifically because of a Homestuck fan-out she did on Tumblr. So I really owe a lot to Homestuck. It made me better at music, allowed me to make my game, connected me with many important friendships, and it taught me lessons on how to deal with fandom and the importance of valuing your fans. Yes, many lessons could be learned from Homestuck about this, for sure. In my mind, it's basically a debt I might never be able to repay. Therefore, when I was asked if I could help out with a new Homestuck animation, I said I'd give it a shot. Surprisingly, the request wasn't for music, but voice acting. Still, I felt I should help out. Waiting at the voice acting studio was another surprise. A few minutes into recording with the voice director, I noticed, hey, isn't this guy's resting voice Daggett from Angry Beavers? It turned out the voice director was the voice of Invader Zim, Richard David Horvitz. The recording session took a few hours, but it was so fun, it felt like it would pretty much ended immediately. I'm not really a pro, so I was nervous about the result, but Invader Zim told me I did a good job, so I have to trust him. Yeah, okay. Anyway, that was my experience helping out. Now I'd like to show you the trailer. I play the role of John Egbert, the kid wearing the glasses. But first, a warning for more sensitive members of my audience. Homestuck has a lot of dirty language, that's true. And they had me say some pretty profane things, so if you're a kid, or rather than not hear those kind of words, don't watch, thanks. Is this the same trailer that was already out there? Let's see. Hold on, I gotta go theater mode. Let me go theater mode. Yeah, no, this is the same trailer. I have already watched that. Although I guess, I mean, why not? We're already here. Let's talk about the Homestuck pilot. So, obviously the Harlequin is here. This battle looks like it's been vastly expanded upon, which makes sense, but also I'm a little sad because part of the fun of this fight in the original is that it's stupid. Carcat is here for some reason, which is probably a good thing. Like, if Andrew Hussey had planned to have Carcat the whole time, he probably would have showed up in the first act. But obviously, this kind of just happened as it went along. I'm a little interested in this, because this is usually quite late in the story. Is it, unless I'm forgetting something Jade got out of here before. Oh, maybe this is her copy of the game. Actually, that would make sense if this got moved up in the story, because you kind of want all 4 kids to be in the game pretty quickly. You would not want what actually happens in Homestuck, which is that Jade doesn't enter the game until, like, Act 4, and then after that, there's, like, a bunch of troll stuff, and then we come back and it's basically like the end of this world and we move on to the next anyway. So it makes she doesn't get to really play the game at all. So that does make sense. The meteor, this is kind of weird that Dave is helping John out with the meteor and not Rose. One of the problems with Homestuck is that Rose just kind of sits on the sidelines and doesn't do anything for most of the time. So I would appreciate if, Rose didn't lose roles she had in the original, especially the Dave, a character who's already a fan favorite and has a billion things to do. But, I'm imagining the reason for this is actually because they're trying to include all 4 kids and not just have this be Rose and John basically the whole time. So that does make sense, but, I have to say it because she is here, obviously. But, it is kind of funny that they can't have any of the copyrighted images. It makes this very awkward considering how vital the copyrighted images are to a lot of Homestuck. But hey, that's my thoughts, I guess. I'm suspicious of if this could even possibly work. But I think the changes they've made so far make sense. Even if the art style isn't like totally what I would probably think of. And it's kind of funny because Toby doesn't sound like himself at all as Sean. I mean, you can hear it, but like he's doing a pretty good job, so I agree with Invader Zim. Off music. Fangamer developed an alternate version of Off available for Nintendo Switch and Steam. It's an alternate version? I don't know what that means. I guess maybe this is just Toby's way of saying it's like not a definitive, like, this is the replacement for the original. I don't know, because it's a remake as far as I know. Legendary RPG Maker game. The characters were inspirations for the designs of Sans and Papyrus. That's not surprising. ACC, I don't know how to pronounce that. Musician for the original version, available online for free forever, didn't want his music to be used in the remake, but also didn't have a problem with us making new tracks. It's a bit of a strange circumstance, but I was asked by Off creator Mortis Ghost to help, so I made some tracks for the game. You can download all my songs for free here, and they're available on YouTube. Enjoy. Yes. Fan musical albums. Recently, there have been some musical albums consisting of Undertale and Deltarune covers I've been encouraged to recommend to you. Piano collections. This has popped up in my recommended before. It's a very nice image. I have not listened to it, though. Some virtuosic, I don't know how you pronounce that, but virtuoso piano arrangements of Deltarune's music by Trevor Allen Gomes. I really, really recommend giving this one a listen. It's available on YouTube if you want to sample it for free. Monster Cat X Undertale. That name sounds familiar. Oh, yeah, actually, I do know who that is. It's been a long time since I've heard that name, though. An album of electronic Undertale arrangements curated by Monster Cat and Fire Raga Records. Many different artists worked very hard to put this album together, and the creativity shines through. Full album releases Monday, October 6th. Nice. Merch. Tenna. When I searched Tenna on a fan gamer store, a shirt for Enna came up. That's funny. It doesn't look like my usual merchandise, but I guess I should tell you guys to buy it. Nice. It is very funny how the two Tenna merchandise pieces here, there's like the plush that's like squat, and then the statue which looks too tall to me. It's funny. There's like, they stretched him for one and squished him for another. Poor Tenna. 10 years passing is annoying. Does that mean I'm annoying? You're the annoying now, dog. Anyway, I'll say my words to the event. Alright. That's it. So, yeah, we didn't learn too much about actual Chapter 5, but I think the reason for that is because it's way closer than Chapter 3 and 4 were when we were learning about them. So, I am not surprised, I suppose. If anything, I'm surprised by how soon Toby thinks he can get this done. Because, I mean, 2026 was already a surprising release date when we got it at the end of Chapter 4. But it's especially surprising if they haven't even finished all the gameplay yet. Where they said they were like 80% done with the gameplay. Where is it? Early areas are complete but need polish. Last 40% or so of the game is in rough first pass. Yeah, that's surprising to me. 85% of cutscenes have been created. I mean, I guess the team has expanded a lot since, like, the Chapter 2 days, obviously. So, it's possible that this could happen, but I don't think it'll get delayed to 2027, but don't expect this game to come out, like, anytime before August, probably. And that's at the very earliest, because localization and stuff takes a long time. And testing, of course. Anyway, thanks for watching. I don't have too much to say about this one, because we didn't really learn too much. If anything, you got my impressions on the Homestuck trailer more than any Deltarune theories, so there you go. It is kind of funny that this scene happens and Chris isn't even there. So, like, are we going to knock on their door and then it's going to zoom into this room and just have them hanging out? I am glad that that Batat or Pluie or whatever these guys' names actually are going to be reoccurring characters, though. I mean, they kind of have to because they're in Castletown, but I'm glad they've got funny bits to continue happening because they've become quite popular. So that's nice. Yep, that's it. I have nothing else to say. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will try to get On the Origins of Darkness Part 2 ready for Friday. Hopefully. I've kind of spoiled you a little bit because I've been doing these smaller theories for so long, and now that I'm back to a bigger one, I can't quite, finish it as fast as those ones, so I hope you understand. Anyway, bye.